Hello everybody, this is Dr. Carmen Bryant. Welcome back to my channel, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you guys so much to all the new subscribers that have come. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of the channel, being a part of this tribe. Thank you guys so much. If you have not already, please subscribe, hit the bell, and let me know what you think about the videos. Let me know how it's helping you. Thank you guys so much. I also posted in the community tab, my book is coming out, so the publisher has contacted me, the production team has contacted me and let me know that the book is at the printer. And so the hard copies, I've read some of the bookstores that it'd be in, and I wasn't sure. I have to go back and look and see all the other bookstores it's in, but I know the two main ones is the Amazon, so you guys can order online books. I believe they said this week. So this week, the online version should be available. I'll let you know because they're supposed to email me. And so it's Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and there's some more book stores, and I'll announce it as they send me the information as well. And so I'm waiting, they said maybe 1 to 2 weeks before I get my hard copy in my hand. But so I will let you guys know. And I just wanted to just talk a little bit about the book and then go straight into the topic. But for those that have been following my YouTube channel and the videos, this particular book, this is the first book. I'm on my second book now. The second book will be more in depth. This book here, if any of you have ever served in the military or even in management, you know, you got a college education or in the medical field, counseling, wherever, you know, you can learn things. You have the book knowledge of certain things, even with diagnosis. You know, many people have to go to practicums, they have to do internships, you know, residencies when it comes to doctors, so that you see, you know, that's just like looking in a book and you seeing a picture of the inside of a human being, until you actually see the inside of a human being, which looks similar yet different than the picture. And so to see it in real life is totally different than what you're reading. Well, not totally different, but it's different than what you're reading, to see it in real life and to see it play out. Even with mental health, as therapists, those of you that are seeking clinical social work and mental health and psychology degrees, and you want to do you know, mental health services, when you're reading in the DSM-5, which is the manual that's used for diagnosis, you can do a lot of things on paper. You know, you can read scenarios and you can do a lot of diagnosis, and this is what this diagnosis looked like, and this is what borderline or bipolar looks like, until you actually see it played out in your office. And some of the things that are in the book is not as vivid as it is when you're face to face with it and you see it in your office. Certain things that people don't believe happens, you know, you start seeing a lot of you work in the field long enough, you see a lot of habits, you see a lot of traits, and you understand how the book was created and how they came up with the diagnosis and what it looks like. Well, the book that I have written, it is Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection, and the subtitle is Narcissist Abuse, Abused by the Esteem. And what I did was, and for those of you that are not Christians, you know, no disrespect, take the principles out of the book. The book is written to give you guys an idea. These are real scenarios in there. These are real, like, this is not made up. So the stories that are in this book are real stories from real, and it just so happened that in this particular book, it's women. And so, you know, so those kings out there, please, you know, even though it talks about the situations or the experiences of the women, it tells you how they were thinking and what they were taught, and the families that they came from, and how they were groomed at a young age into thinking the way that they thought, how they were emotionally abused, you know, or, and I believe physically abused, but emotionally abused and groomed to make them vulnerable for a narcissist, and what they were thinking when they got with the narcissist partner. And it gives you scenarios of what the narcissist did to them, you know, the abuse that they afflicted. And see, when you're reading a book or when you're hearing people talk about narcissist abuse, you don't know what it looks like until you've seen it played out. So in this book, it is real stories from real women and their experiences, where you get to see it play out, and you get to see some of the same scenarios that you guys went through, to let you know that you're not crazy. Some of the things that were said, the way that they acted, the things that they did, the behaviors that they had, how they abused their children, even how they were grooming their children, grooming the kids. For example, how, and I'll give you this one scenario, how it just so happened that one of the stepfathers, was grooming the daughter, and he would do things like walk into the shower where she was showering as a teenager showering, and he would do things that he would do to the wife. He would like play with the lights, or he would like pretend like he's throwing water over the curtains so that he can get a look at her, but he was grooming her and desensitizing her and to molest her, basically. But you'll see different things that these narcissists did, starve the kids, abuse the kids, threaten the kids in order to put fear into the woman, driving at high speeds in a car it's the trauma bonding part, driving at high speeds in a car, even how they groom new supply and how they triangulated and used new supply, and how they used the new supply to attack the primary supply, the triangulation. So you get to read in this book how this played out. Excuse me, guys, but that's my computer. But how these scenarios played out, and then you get to also read the stories about how women were taught to think, by the other women in their lives, how they were taught to think, how what the fathers said to make them think that they were not worthy, and the words and how powerful words are. And how they were handed. It was basically they were groomed in what was said and the way that these women were thinking and how they were handed over. Some of them were elite, esteemed women that were abused by those that you would consider that were less than at the level that they were at. And they were completely humiliated and embarrassed. And so you get to read in this book some of your own scenarios. And I didn't use your stories, but obviously I've been writing this book for 5 years. But, you get to see these stories play out, to see what it looks like. The Christian part of it is it gives biblical references on what God thinks about you, and what the Bible says about your value, and what the Bible says about who you are. And how loved you are. And so those of you that are not Christians, we have all sorts of different beliefs on this YouTube channel. That doesn't mean, you take the principle out of it. Take the principle out of it, okay? And then you get to see your own stories. A lot of you, just like you relate on YouTube, you're going to see your own stories in this book. And so thank you guys so much for the support. I'll let you guys know as soon as it is on Amazon. I'm going to post it in the community tab. Keep checking the community tab. Some of you guys saw the back of the book where it gives you the description, of, that I wrote the description of what's in the book and how people think. And then you see the front of it where you get to see the man holding the mask in front of his face. So that is the representation of the narcissist. And so thank you guys so much for all the kind words and all the support. Thank you guys so much. Remember, take the principles out of it. And so the next thing I wanted to talk about before my client comes in, I wanted to talk about what happens when you go back to the narcissist. Okay, remember, some of you were primary supply. The narcissist used a lot of energy, a lot of focus, number one, to get you. And so not all narcissists come and just introduce themselves and talk to you. No, you were studied. You were groomed. They mimicked you. They mirrored you. So they did a lot of work because they chose you. You were chosen to be the primary supply. And what happened was they groomed you, they love bombed you, and they were trying to see whether you were a good fit, whether you were going to be that person that they needed to be their primary source of supply, meaning that you're able to handle a lot of abuse and copious amounts of love bombing, abuse, mental abuse, but they worked on you to groom you and to mold you and to change the way that you think so that you will cater to them. You have literally become a prisoner. And for a lot of us as women, we were taught, but by good mentors. We were taught not by broken women, but by good mentors. We were taught, how to take care of your man. How do you take care of your husband? And for those of you that are in the LGBTQ community, I'm not sure how. Please forgive me for my ignorance. I'm not sure how you're taught. So hopefully you guys have some mentors on relationships. I can speak on the heterosexual relationship, but those of you that are in the LGBT community, hopefully you guys have mentorship, good mentors. I can bring you the information concerning the narcissist abuse itself, but when it comes to same-sex relationships, I'm not very knowledgeable on how the dynamics work. And so hopefully you guys find some good mentorship. There is a lady that inboxed me to let me know that she was creating a channel to support the LBGT community on the same-sex relationships. And so let me get that information to you guys as well. And if she's watching, please send me that information again so that I can redirect. I'm gonna go check the channel out first, before I just send you guys to anybody. And then I will, look and see, and then I'll recommend, you guys go over there, because I want you guys to be safe as well. But as I was saying is that, within the heterosexual community, those, not the broken women, but a lot of the elders and the women, they were teaching how to take care of your man. How not that the man needs to control you. I have good mentorship, and my mentor not only teaches the daughters and the young women and the women within the ministry, how to be women, first of all, how to shut your mouth and not emasculate a man, how to make sure he's taken care of, how to understand the dynamics of a man, and as a therapist, I teach the same thing in therapy, how not to emasculate him, how to understand that a man does not think the same way that a woman thinks. We speak, and when we speak, we are very, and it's not a general statement, because some men, have said that, well, I don't think like that, but most men are very left-brained, they're very logical, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, with women, we speak emotions. We like to draw the picture. We like to put colors and color in the lines. A man will buy the house and we'll create a home. You buy the ingredients and then we'll make the food for you, Likewise, men with good mentorship were taught to be the protectors, to be the providers, to be the hunters. The woman, you give the woman a seed, she's going to produce a child. You give her the material, she produce food. She'll, whatever you give her, whatever you give a woman is a receptor. A woman is a carrier. That's why they're called womb man. We have a womb, and so whatever you put into that womb, we will reproduce it and give it back to you. Whatever you put in as we get to you. That's why in the midst of domestic violence and violent relationship, a lot of the women have to be very careful, because remember I talked about those narcissistic traits. You put something in them and they'll give it back. Well, for a man, a lot of men, the man doesn't need the same thing that a woman needs. Now, true enough, you want intimacy, you want conversation, you want to be respected, you want to be honored. You never dishonor a man in front of his family, nor in public. You don't emasculate him, and men have different needs than women do. They do need to feel valued. They need to feel like they make a difference. Some of us, women are just, we're rough, we're Amazonians, and sometimes we want something done, like, baby, can you go and get the oil change? If you wait too long, we'll take the whole engine out, look at the engine, fix the engine, put it back in. Now, ladies, I know some of us have been single for a while, but when a man comes around and he's willing to do that, you have to let that man be a man. You be a lady, y'all, be a lady, okay? But, and this is just in general. That doesn't mean it all applies to everybody, but, a man needs to be respected. A man needs to be honored. And so now you have this dynamic. Think about that for a minute. So now here you have a narcissist, and a narcissist plays on those roles. So they'll take advantage of that. They don't look at it the way that we look at it. So a man will use that. If it's a male narcissist, they'll use that to control you. You're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do that. And in the beginning is love bombing, and then the grooming part where they're telling you you're supposed to do that. And what they do is they isolate you and try to keep you isolated, so they train you, but they're training you in a dysfunctional, broken way. Likewise, for the men, when you get a narcissistic woman, or even in any relationship, you get a narcissistic woman, a lot of times that narcissistic woman will woo you in by virtue of the femininity, the feminine role, the sexuality. Like I told you guys before, breast under her chin, where she has to peek out between the breast, over sexy, over sensual, over sexualizing everything, then they try to, be careful, men, because if you are single fathers or you have children, that woman will also pretend to be like this great stepmother or this great parental role. You watch those women with your kids, because when you're not around, those women are jealous. Remember, if that's a narcissistic woman, That woman looks at your children as a challenge. That woman looks at your children as you are in my way, and they'll watch those kids, because remember, there was another woman involved with those children, and so they'll watch your children. But they know that if that's your heart, they know to go after your children, and you don't leave those children. If you don't know her, if you haven't got to know her, you don't leave your children alone. I don't care if she's stepmama or not. If you married her or not, you don't leave your kids alone with someone that you really don't know. And when your kids tell you something, you better believe it. And if your children cannot articulate and they have certain behaviors, you better check to see what's happening to those kids. Likewise, ladies, some men and women are predators, and a woman can abuse and sexually abuse children, just like a man can sexually abuse and abuse children. And women, you can't be so desperate, because some narcissistic men are also sexual predators. And in my book, it gives you some examples that led up to that kind of stuff, and there was abuse, and I can't recall, because, I haven't read my own book again. I have to go back and read it again. But you guys have to remember that some men are sexual predators. They will molest it themselves. Not all people that have been molested molest, but they will molest. Well, not all people that have been sexually molested molest, but majority of people that molest have been molested, because it is a learned behavior. That's what they do. That's what they know. So even you women, when you're dealing with a narcissistic man, they'll pretend to be that father figure. They'll love your kids. This is all the things that you ever desired, especially you have an absentee father, in the lives of these kids. You don't sacrifice those children because that's what oh, he's this great father and he's good with his kids. You don't know what he's doing with his kids. You have no idea. And he's playing daddy role in somebody else's house. Don't believe that. There's still something that they're searching for. If they haven't came out from behind that mask and they haven't started abusing those kids yet, or that woman yet, there's something that they want. And some of them want money. Some of them want the bank accounts. They want the material things, and they just know they have to continue playing this role and making you trust them, especially with your kids. If that's where your heart is at, that's what they go after. They go after those kids. So now, for them, when you leave, say you are the primary source of supply, and you have provided them with good supply, and you discard it. First of all, a narcissist never gets discarded. I have some notes here. A narcissist is never discarded. In their mind, I do the discarding. You don't do the discarding. So they'll hoover you to get you back because they want to punish you for doing that. How dare you? I trained you up. I trained you to do what I tell you to do. Even if I discard you, you are always available to me. That's how they think. Number two, you ignore them, you decide to go no contact. That kills a narcissist. They'll play along with you at first and ignore you too. You may send them a message, hey, go pick up the child, go do this, whatever. They'll ignore you too. But do believe that they're just mimicking you. And they're thinking of something else. But eventually that'll fall apart too, because they can't believe, how did you stay away so long? This is not your normal habit. Something has changed. I wrote some notes. And then, let's see. So when you've gained your momentum, right? Let's say you've decided to go no contact, you're healing, you're doing well for yourself. Let's say, because remember, when they have discarded you, when they've discarded you, their whole mindset is you're going to fall apart. You are not who, the only reason why you are what you are is because of me, or you become what you become is because of me. And it's actually not the case. A lot of you guys were somebody before you met them, and you're somebody while you're with them. Now, they may have stripped you and made you feel like that you're nothing. You can't do anything without them. And some of you actually say you can't do anything without them. That's a lie. Even after they discarded you, or you discarded them, regardless, you get back on your feet. Well, they watch you. Remember, they stalk you all the time. They watch everything that you do. They get silent. There was someone else. They probably have because in their minds, they're like, you'll never make it back up. You'll die and you'll wither away. You'll be impoverished, and you'll be living in a cardboard box, and you'll never make it because it was me that made you who you are. Then all of a sudden you start coming out of this fog. You may start a business, you may do this, you may this, would you guys say the revenge body? It's not a revenge body. You guys remember that, because then you're doing it for the wrong reason. All of a sudden you look younger, you look good, You're doing well for yourself. You done bought yourself a condo or a house. You got this new car. Your makeup is on fleek. Is that what the kids say? Hopefully I said that right. Don't be laughing at me. But makeup is on fleek, and all of a sudden they see you, and what they look at is like, how dare you come up? How did you do that? Because you should have done that with me. So then they start to hoover you again because you've refueled. Now you're this walking fuel tank. You've refueled. So they'll do everything that they possibly can. They'll play with it. All of a sudden they become the best fathers and mothers that you could have ever imagined. All of a sudden they're giving you money, but they've never given you money. All of a sudden you're the most beautiful person. They'll say everything that they didn't say and do in order to hoover you back. If that doesn't work, they become enraged. They do become enraged. Another thing that to look at is like when family and friends see you and you're doing wonderful. They've already smeared your name, and they always smear your name. So I tell you guys, be quiet. You live and you grow and you recover, and a lot of the smearky, a lie is going to expose itself. And so all this time they're talking about you, that other people see you. Now, see, this is the bad part of flying monkeys. Because flying monkeys can backfire on you. These flying monkeys or people that they're friends of theirs will come back and say, "Oh, you're stupid. Girl, you should have seen him. He was looking good." Now, one of your friends is talking to the female narcissist. "Girl, you should have seen him. Girl, he looked good. Girl, I don't know why you left him. You're stupid. You with that monster at your house. I don't know what you see in this broke man, that you 2 feet tall broke man, girl, but I seen your ex, honey. He sure, girl." And then you got the guys talking to the guys, and the guys are narcissists, but you got flying monkeys that are just as petty as the narcissist. Bruh, I seen her. I don't know what happened, but you stupid. You with that little, okay, let's think of a name, y'all. Y'all with that little flying squirrel. There we go. You over there with this flying squirrel, and I seen your ex, and bruh, I almost talked to her myself. I'm gonna go and ask her to marry me. But what do you think that's doing to the ego of that narcissist, female or male? What do you think is doing to the ego of that narcissist? First of all, it's causing them to hate the person that's talking to them and telling them this. Number two, they're starting to hate you because how dare you move on without me? How dare you, become somebody without me making you somebody? Because that's the way that they think. So then they come back, they see you, you are refueled, you're refreshed, you're refueled, you have more fuel to give now. Now they want that strength. That's what they want now, until they deplete you again. And guess what they're going to do? They'll discard you again. Let's see. Remember, they look at it as they've lost the upper hand. You were supposed to diminish and just, like on the Avengers, just poof, disappear. But at the same time, when they see you, like, why didn't you disappear? Why didn't you just disintegrate? Why didn't you die? Why didn't you commit suicide? How dare you? Now you got the upper hand on me. Now I look stupid in front of all these people. So now I got to get back with you to show them that you're really weak. You're not as strong. Some of you guys, I think I've talked to a couple of people that said that they were coaches, they wrote books, they did all this, and they got caught up in the Hoover and went back. You got caught up in the Hoover. Now they're going to try to humiliate you and make you look as stupid as possible. You're trying to hide it from people, but what they'll do is purposely show people because they want you humiliated, that you are weak. And look, I can get them back. I can get her back, or I can get him back whenever I want to. So see, you guys are not that strong. I still have a stronger pull. Do remember this. A narcissist never, ever changes. They either Hoover you, or because you're desperate. There's this saying, if I can't have you, I don't want nobody else to have you. I don't want you, but I don't want nobody else to have you. And that goes both for the narcissist and the empath, or the source of supply. You want to get away, but you don't want no one else to have them. And so you begin to Hoover them as well. So you Hoover them to try to get their attention while they're Hoovering you. And then all of a sudden, here you go, you've done something for yourself. Be prepared. Because now they're going to, if you've been through this and you know that narcissist, be prepared. Because they're getting ready to launch the greatest attack against you, to destroy you and humiliate you in front of all your family and friends that watched you come up like the phoenix. Rise up like the phoenix and become somebody and write books and do this and go on YouTube channels and whatever you've done, and public speaking and support groups and advocacy. Now they're going to come back because they want to humiliate you, and be prepared because they'll throw it in your face. Oh, so you this big speaker now, huh? you can't even keep yourself together. They'll use everything that you've said and everything that you've taught people. They'll throw it in your face to humiliate you and make you feel less than. And this injury is going to be worse than the last injury, because you keep having this hope that they're going to change and that they're different, and they're not. But believe you me, just like those people that have been addicted to drugs and alcohol, they know that once they've gotten sober, they can't go back, because of the fact that they don't go back just to smoke a little pot. They go back at the level of where they left. And so if you were doing cocaine and heroin and meth and all this, and your tolerance has built up in your system, and you're doing these high volumes of drug, that's how many people have died of drug overdose, because they relapse, but they relapse to an amount that they were using before, and it ended up killing them. So if that's the case, when you're talking about chemical dependency and drug addiction, what do you think is the case? And remember, we were talking about the water experiment, the rice. So you got to take some real experiences and experiments and apply it to a real situation like narcissist abuse. What do you think is going to happen when you go back? You think that narcissist changed? The narcissist has not changed. And when you go back, remember, they've got to come in at a different level to get you back in. But the cycle remains the same. Eventually they get comfortable. They think they've got you locked in. They got your stuff, and they'll try to humiliate you in front of friends. And this time when they get back at you, because you done made them suffer, you humiliated them, you moved on and did something for yourself, you probably dogged them out and gave them no contact, they've never forgotten. They're the most vindictive people that never forget. And everything that you did to avoid them, the no contact, the police protection orders, everything that you did, they never forgot. And they're the type, they're so insidious that every pain that you cause them, every narc injury that you cause them, they will make you pay. That's all they're thinking. I'm going to make you pay, and I'm going to make you pay because I'm going to try to invoke the highest level of pain to the point where you'd want to kill yourself. That is how narcissists think. That is how narcissists think. I tell you guys, stay no contact. Whatever channel that you are subscribed to, if it's mine and other people, some of you guys love Quinn Holiday. I'm a fan of Quinn Holiday's as well. All those coaches that are out there that are providing you with some deep, and I'm not talking about surface information. I'm talking about deep information that's going to hit something. Listen, do not go back. I don't care if you have to cry, scream, or check your own self in a drug rehabilitation center because you are addicted to the narcissist. That's what they did. If you go back, it's going to be worse. And some people did not make it out with their lives. Some people have been killed, to include the whole family, the children, the dog, everything. Because the lower grade to mid-grade narcissist will kill you. Remember that. The higher grade will get someone to kill you, but they'll drive you crazy to a point where you will try to kill yourself. It's not worth going back. It's not worth losing everything that you worked so hard for. Some of you guys work so hard to get back on your feet and get what you want. It's not worth going back. Leave that door closed. Do not go back. No contact, no social media, no hi, no what's up. I feel better now. I feel more empowered, so I can be nice. I'll be sweet to that person. I don't have to. No, you don't talk to them at all. Nothing. Give them nothing. No fuel, nothing. Leave them alone. Listen to me, you guys. Those of you that are married, and those of you that have children, some of this stuff you have to, you can't do like most single people that don't have an investment in the relationship. Those of you that have children, those of you that are married, there are laws in the state also. You can't just jump up and run, because then they can try to get you for like kidnapping. There are laws in the state that protect the fathers and the mothers as well. So you just can't get up and kidnap the kids. You need to get to a good legal advocate, domestic violence advocate, and you need to get this documented so they can help you with your transition. Create a plan. Come up with a plan. If it takes you a while, listen to these videos, strengthen yourself. Get up on your feet and strengthen yourself. And some people have to strengthen themselves while they're in the situation. Make the phone calls, okay? Make the phone calls. Go onto the Google, go onto the internet, look for the national domestic violence hotline. They'll connect you with agencies. Let them know your situation. Let them know that you're afraid. Talk to the police department. Go to the YWCA and the domestic violence advocate. Let them know that you are in domestic violence. They may not understand narcissist abuse, but they do understand domestic violence. And a lot of people that are dealing with domestic violence and have the advocates and everything are dealing with narcissist abuse. And so you may not be able to explain to them what you're dealing with as the individual, but they've seen these cases. They just don't understand what they're dealing with, but they see these cases a lot. So be smart, be wise. get resources. So hopefully this has helped you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Hit the bell. I upload pre-recorded videos Tuesday through Friday, and I come on live on Sundays. I know Sunday's Mother's Day. So I'm going to come on and give you guys a special love and greetings to all the mothers and fathers that have to stand in the place of mothers, so you guys are included. But I will come back on Sunday. Well, I'll be back tomorrow, but I'll come back live on Sunday between 8 and 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time / West Coast Time. And do know that I do have a Facebook page. It is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. I do upload the videos on both channels. It just takes a long time to upload. But I do upload when I go live. Sometimes when I'm traveling, I can't go Facebook Live, but I can go YouTube Live. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? Thank you guys so much for your support. Stay tuned. I'm going to let you guys know about the book when it comes out. I'm so excited, and I really hope that this is going to bring healing and awareness to a lot of people. And I am working on my second book, and with my second book, I'm wanting to create the webinars based on that second book, because that is more in depth of what you guys are going through, just like these videos. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all your support. I love you guys. Thank you guys. You are great. And not just I tell you, go and be great. This is our motto. This is our thing. Go and be great. we're going to get some shirts that says go and be great. As my friend always says, go and be great. I stick the finger out or something, but we're going to do this. We're going to make it through this process. Hang in there. Whoever is listening that feels like they've lost hope, you have hope. Listen. Let me back up a little bit. If you guys went to my Facebook channel, on my Facebook page, I posted, there were 3 or 4 pictures that I posted in the process of where I was at when I was in the domestic violence. I looked like the Pillsbury Doughgirl. My face was about as big as the camera, big old fat face. Then I was at work. There's a picture I took. I was at work, but I was so hurt, and you can see I looked tired. I was tired because it was late at night. I was working, but you can see that I looked totally drained. I think there's another picture on there, and then you see the picture of me as I am now. I did not always look like this. I went through it as well. I had an awesome coach and a mentor and a pastor that loved me, and I knew she loved me, and she loved me for real. She told me the truth. She was straightforward with me. That's why I'm straightforward with you guys, okay? And so this is what you see. This is what you see. I've made it through what I've made it through. And if I can make it through what I made it through, you guys can make it through what you guys are going through, okay? If I did it, you can do it. I give you guys hope to let you know that I'm a survivor, just like some of you guys are survivors. I had to go through some of the same process and mindsets that everybody else has been through. This is not just one person going through something. This is all of us that have been through something. I've made it beyond where you guys are at, okay? And so that's why I'm back here to tell you guys I'm reaching back as a military leader, as we never leave any soldiers behind on the battlefield. I'm coming out on the battlefield, and I'm coming to get you guys. You guys are soldiers. I need you to soldier up. I need you to listen. I need you to strap up. I need you to hold it together. I'm coming to get you on the battlefield. I got you guys. I got your back. Keep watching these videos. Go to my mentors page, Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper, and she will give you the spiritual aspect. That's a general. And if you guys are in the church, you understand what I'm talking about. That's a general in the spirit. And I am her first sergeant. And I am here to help. And we work as a team. Stay tuned to us. We're going to help you through this journey. And sometimes you got to walk by blind faith. Whatever your faith is, walk by blind faith. But we got your back. Listen to the videos. Get it into your mind so we can get those thoughts out. Do not kill yourself, because it's not worth it. You're too cute to be in a coffin, okay? You're too cute to be in a coffin. You do not need to be in a coffin, okay? So you guys keep it together. Keep it together. I got you. She's got you. We got your back. Keep listening to these videos. Thank you guys. And as my friend always says, go and be great.